Now, do you catch yourself dreaming about becoming a CEO, or is this the year you promised yourself you'd start your own business?
Yeah, if the answer is yes, self-made millionaire Bank of Dave is here to share his wisdom with 6 easy steps to get your idea off the ground and turn your aspirations into reality.
Yeah, and the new year is a great time to give it a go, right, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, the new year, the new you, 2024. I mean, the best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago, but the second best time to plant a tree is today.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Well, everybody thinks if you want to start a new business, you need a lot of money behind you. Now, I know with some businesses that is true, but with all businesses, do you need a big investment? Can you start off with nothing?
Well, I started off many, many years ago, 35 years ago, I started the first business in cars. I loved cars, but I didn't have the price of a gallon of petrol. So how do you start a business in cars when you've no money? Well, what I did is I went round all the local garages and I went looking for somebody that had an old part exchange car in the corner of the garage with flat tyres and a few things wrong with it, need cleaning up. And I said, could I take that away, clean it up, bring you back an organised amount of money and the difference be mine? One guy let me do it up in Bath Street in Nelson. I took the car away, I returned him 70 quid, I sold it for 99, so it were 20 odd quid with my bad Burnley maths profit, and now we're off and running. But it is harder today.
So then did you do that again, and you sort of upscaled that as you went, kind of thing?
Yeah, I went from one car to 2 to 10 to 20, then into vans, and then into buses, and today I'm the largest supplier of minibuses in the country.
And when you say it's harder today, why do you think that is, Dave?
I just think there's a lot more people out there doing it. I think there's a lot of internet, and back then there wasn't any of that. But you know what? I'd love to have another go today. Starting from scratch.
Well, Dave, could you take us through your top tips?
Absolutely. So the first thing, passion. What are you passionate about? What do you really love doing? You always want to be doing something you love. What would you do if you didn't need the money? That's the first place to start.
That's a really good question to ask yourself.
It's where you need to be, whether you want to be a baker, you're into fashion, hairdressing, writing, knitting, doesn't matter. What job would you do?
You've got to really believe in it. If you believe in something enough, it will happen.
Self-belief is everything. If you believe in yourself, other people will follow you and will start to believe in you. Market research, do tons. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. If you want to open a little pub or you want to open a little cafe, go and get a job in one part-time. Look where they get the best drinks from. What pies do they sell the best? What food do they sell the best? What entertainment is the best? Who comes in? What time do they come in? When do they sell everything? Borrow the ideas. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. You know, it goes round brilliantly.
That's interesting, because it goes back to graft, which is a huge belief, right? So you need to basically serve an apprenticeship somewhere to sort of know something about the industry, right?
Yes, that'll save you months and months, if not years of work. There'll be some fancy architect in a pub somewhere that'll have spent a fortune in time and money designing it. Just borrow the ideas, just take pictures and keep lots and lots of notes. You know, the other thing is seek the support you need. There's tons of it out there. Speak to the local council. There's an economic development officer in most councils. Now, I've got one locally to me called Pervez Ali. He does tons and tons of stuff for businesses I introduce him to. There's 37 local growth hubs right across the country. Tons and tons of help.
What do they do?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So you get free help starting registering a business. All the things you don't really understand about, they'll tell you all about it. Help with a business plan. You know, they give you advice on money and grants. Money for free.
That is so good.
So there's one in particular, there's one in Pendle at the moment giving a grant away for 100 grand, but it's for manufacturing, but it proves they are there. So go and have a look, go and have a chat to the council. Now, if you're on... I know
the Princess Trust are very good with this if you're under a certain age as well.
That's right, Princess Trust. And if you're on universal credit, you can still start a business. You can spend 12 months where you don't have to look for work. You can concentrate and focus on the business. Yeah. And if you've got a disability or you're registered disabled, there's tons of help for you too.
Okay.
So that's a really good thing.
What about marketing, Dave?
Marketing. Now, if I could put that in big letters, I'd put marketing, marketing, marketing with one of those commas in between, because you've got to think big, then think bigger. It's no good just putting an advert in a newspaper, because somebody will go like that with a newspaper and turn it over. A story. Now, if you're going to start a little baking shop, or you're going to sell cakes on the internet, or you're going to sell some pies. Now, a sausage roll probably costs £1 to make, right? What if you made one that were 3-4 foot long, right? Bear with me. 10, 12... 15 quid to make that sausage roll. That would be the biggest sausage roll in the country. Now you're cooking with gas. I've done something similar with something called the Malkin pie. We built a story around it for a little cafe called Sandwiches, and they got to the point where they were selling out to supermarkets all over the country.
What was the story behind that pie? Like, so when you came into the bakery or whatever, would they be able to go, yeah, this is...
Yeah, well, Pendle Hill's very close to where the cafe opened, and there's lots of Pendle witches, which is Pendle Hill's famous for.
Yeah.
So we put a story around the pie, and his young granddaughter was stamping out the witches' hats for the pies to go on top, and all these supermarkets were taking it, and local newspapers will pick up on it, radio, and even local TV.
Yeah.
And that's the beginning. But you need to go fishing where the fish are. So if you're selling something, for instance, if you want to be a photographer, you want to sell hats, go to wedding fairs. That's where you'll do the best fishing, you know.
And what about cash reserve, Dave? What should we be like with our cash reserve when it comes to businesses or opening up a new business?
If you can get a buffer, you are cooking with gas.
What's a buffer?
A buffer is a percentage of money or some money spare that you can use when things go wrong, and they will, because if you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough.
Well, let's say, for example, like you finish a year and you've got £1,000, right? Yeah. So how much does that you take in profit? Do you have a certain rule where you take that in profit, you put that away, obviously you pay your tax as well?
Well, I've built 5 businesses in total, the biggest of which is in America, here and abroad. And every time I build one, I always think that as much as you can save, the better. And that will go on to the next one. But if you can have a part-time job or even keep your full-time job while you get going, you know, and then you can be speaking to the advisors in the council and they can be really telling you how to do it. Create a relationship with your suppliers. That will help you not having to do pro forma. Pro forma means you pay up front for produce.
Yeah.
If you can get a deal, you can pay in 30, 60, 90 days. Get free delivery. That costs so much. Yeah. That is a really good deal to do.
So communication skills, you know, if you're dealing with suppliers, they've got to be top tip.
Brilliant. Communication is the one top tip. If you can learn to communicate better in life, you can achieve anything. It will increase your net worth by a minimum of 50% and preferably 100%.
And lastly, work around your communities. You wanted to stress that, didn't you?
Yes. Around the communities, you need to understand that whatever you're going to do is going to affect everybody around you. So you're going to have family that maybe need picking up children from school. You're going to have pets. You're going to have to really understand, before you jump in with both feet, make sure you've worked out everything. But hard work will put you where some good luck can find you, and have the courage to follow your dreams.
Brilliant.
Lovely.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave Fishwick. Always a pleasure.
Inspired.
I know you do, yeah.
Pumped.